Hi, my name is Paul Kautza. I'm the Director of Education at TDWI, and we're here at our San Diego World Conference, and I'm lucky enough to be joined by Tony Rathburn. Tony is the Senior Consultant and Education Director for the Modeling Agency.
Correct.
And thank you for joining me today.
Pleasure. Good to see you again.
You and I have been working together for a fair amount of time, and TDWI has a fairly good curriculum on the fundamentals of analytics, from performance management to dashboards and scorecards to business analytics. And as you know, talking with Dave and I, we're introducing a new course in Orlando on the fundamentals of predictive analytics and data mining that you're with us on. And then you take us to the next level. You take us into the real deep, the predictive analytics and the behavioral analytics and those types of pieces. Some of the things that we've seen over the years, so I mean, we've both been at this an awful long time.
We have.
And we've seen a lot of different hype cycles. We've seen a lot of different pieces come and go. The one thing that I think has been a steady climb and not a decline at all is the whole analytics cycle and where analytics is going. And some of the things we've talked about is it's not about the technology. I mean, we have enough technology out there to do everything we want to do. And I like some of the pieces you take about the business-driven, the business side of it. If you could help the audience just understand a little bit about your perspective on the predictive analytics arena and where it usually falls short and why.
Well, and Paul, I think you hit the nail on the head with that. We haven't seen analytics as a general area decline because the business users understand that if we can harness this technology effectively in these approaches, that it has a huge business impact for virtually every organization. The issue we've run into with the hype cycles is that we've looked for this silver bullet, this magic approach. We've gone through areas with artificial intelligence where that was really being built up and the application of these techniques. We went into the whole data mining arena where we were looking for patterns of data that had never been seen before using some of these advanced technologies, and it didn't lead to fruitful results. It didn't solve the business problem. And more recently, we've finally seen the development and the maturation of our data repositories, and we're seeing a reorganization out of transactional-based processing systems into systems that will support analytics. And that's really the thrust of big data, and it's more fat data. I've got more fields available in every record, and it gives us this ability. But the data itself doesn't provide a solution. We have to get the problem set up right. We have to get the sophistication of the project plan and the involvement of our domain experts to really come in and say, this is what we're trying to capture, and build this training data set so that we can pull the right data to support that and build the right-hand side of the equal sign, what a statistician would call the independent variables, and then apply the algorithms that have the capability to tell ones from zeros. That's the piece that's missing. The business sits at the top of the pyramid, and data and quantitative techniques support those business problems.
And I think that point has not changed in the 30 years I've been doing this. No. Everybody's always looking for that silver bullet, whether it was in ETL processing, whether it's in integration, whether it was in query tools, building. Everybody's looking for the answer, and I find it a lot that the collaboration, that true collaboration between business and IT, has been the Achilles heel of data warehousing, business intelligence, master data management, all the way through. And it could be the same thing with big data and the different pieces as we go through it. So that piece of it, getting business on board, has got to be the magic.
It has to be, and especially in the planning stages. If you go through these projects, it's a lot like building a house. I can have exceptional raw materials, and we use data for our raw materials. I can have exceptional tools and contractors who know how to build virtually anything. But if I don't sit down with the assistance of an architect and really sit down to and answer the individual needs of the people who are going to live in that house and what they want and how they want it to look, the builders are going to build the wrong house and something that's not satisfactory for the people that have to use it.
And that's what I think we see a lot when people are using the wrong techniques, the wrong algorithms against the wrong the problem they think is there, but the wrong problem, getting bad results and blaming the technology or blaming the algorithms.
And we have people who are quantitatively very sophisticated, but in many cases their background comes from an academic environment where they really focus on physical systems types of approaches. And a lot of the thought processes aren't geared towards human behavior and managing relationships that tend to be propensities rather than right answers. So it is a little bit of a different mindset on the part of the quantitative side as well. I think that part would settle out very quickly once we really got a clear understanding from the business users of what they were trying to achieve and what's going to benefit them.
Yeah. One last piece before we close, because I think another hype cycle that we've seen that I think is going to be very difficult to fulfill is the hype cycle of the data scientist.
It is. And I mean,
and let me clarify that just a little bit. The data scientist being one person,
right,
versus.
And that's exactly where I was going to go with that. A project team is almost never one person. I need a project sponsor. I need the insights and the expertise of that domain specialist who understands all the nuances. I need the insights of the end user who's going to say, this is how we're going to field this, what works in the trenches. Then I need some support from IT, then I need support from someone with a strong quantitative background. Those are the 5 basic skills. Now, one person can hold more than one of those skill sets. I don't know of a real world problem that one individual has the depth of knowledge across all 5 of those areas. And that, hypothetically at least, is what we're trying to build with the data scientist. I'm not even sure who's out there that's qualified to train them in all 5 areas.
Yeah, and I think one of the most difficult thing for the quantitative side is to understand the true business, because they don't live it every day.
They don't, and that's what I'm talking about, that domain expert and really getting the plan set up the right way. Our training data set is what the algorithms learn from. The only people who have that level of expertise are the domain specialists, the experts inside of these organizations who can go through and talk to the issues in detail, in depth, the way it works in their organization. These are all custom projects. It's not even something that we can go out to, as we commonly do, and get the assistance of various consulting groups, because every organization's different and has a different set of insights and expertise in these project areas.
So, last question. In your projects, how do you convince the business people that they need to be heavily involved and they need to be part of it? Because a lot of the times the business people do push back and say, just no, you guys are the experts on the data and the experts on the tools. So just.
I think what the message that I try and get across very clearly is these are business problems. And I don't talk about the math. I don't talk about the data. Those are our tools and our raw resources that we utilize. We're building business solutions, and we need the involvement from business to get that right. Here's what we're really trying to do. We're doing resource allocation. It's not about advanced math. I've got limited time, limited money. The easiest way for me to enhance performance is to allocate those resources more effectively. I'm now speaking in a language that makes sense to this business user, and a light bulb goes off and says, yeah, that makes sense. I can help you do that. I'm not intimidated by that. You're back in my area of expertise. If you need that, I can help with that. I'm not able to help you with the quant. I'm not able to help you with the IT. I've got other people who are much better at that. We need to get all 3 groups doing what they're good at and contributing.
It's really getting the business people comfortable that you're after them for the business and not for the quantitative side.
Right.
Yeah. Well, terrific. This was fun. And if you want to see more of Tony, come see us at any of our world conferences. You teach at every one of them that we have, and get the business people involved. And matter of fact, the IT and business should come together as a team.
Would love to see more of that.
That would be wonderful. So with that, you can go to tdwi.org for more information on our education. I'm Paul Kautza, Director of Education. Thank you very much, and have a great day.